Three, two, one. Maybe. Setting up. Oh, I was a little early on that. And done. Redirecting to the live page. And there it is on the YouTubes. Thank you so very, very much, everybody. It is 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, or whatever time it happens to be where you are, because you are watching us right now. Welcome to the Inner Circle Breakthrough Session. And we are just so glad. And as I was just telling Robert before we started this whole thing, we are so pickled tink that you are here. Think about it. Couple of things before we get started. First of all, OMG. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are too shy of 7,000 subscribers.
Wow.
You guys are doing incredible. Thank you for sharing our videos, our shorts. Thank you for liking the videos that we produce. Thank you for being here and supporting this amazing channel. Love you, love you, love you. And as Robert has posted in the Zoom chat, 792,297 views overall for the channel. So guess what? We hit 7,000. The next goal beyond the 7,000, besides 8,000, is 800,000 views.
Wow. Wow. 8,000 subscribers and 800,000 views.
Possible.
That's interesting.
Yeah. We're almost there.
Yep.
Almost there. And thank you again so much,
Thank
everybody.
Looking forward to each and every one of you surpassing that goal as well.
Yes. Okay, so if you have a question for Robert, of course, it's very simple. In either the YouTube or Zoom, go ahead and type the question in the chat. Of course, the whole idea behind the AMA, or the Inner Circle, I should say, breakthrough session, is that you get to talk to Robert personally. So please raise your hand. Very simple to do. Put your cursor in the middle of the screen where you see all of these images. And Lisa Marie Cook just did it. Thank you so much. So find the reactions button. If you don't see it at the very bottom of the screen, click on the more button and then click on reactions and then click on raise hand. That will notify us that you would like to share with us. And of course, this is the Inner Circle, so we go a little more deeper into a lot of things. So thank you so very much. Now, those of you that are on YouTube that want to join us in Zoom, the link is at the top. Over here, over here, over here, wherever it is. I can't remember which way my hand is going from Zoom to YouTube, but it is there in the on top of the chat. Just click on there, and the link will take you right into our Zoom room, and then you can join us there too. And finally, before we give it over to the gentleman of the hour or two, someone had a birthday yesterday. And Jerome Marshall submitted to the super chat a super chat in honor of Robert. Happy birthday, Robert. Love and appreciate you. And of course, if you are wanting to donate, any of the donations in those super chats goes to charities that Robert supports. Click on the $, which is at the bottom where you type your chat. It's a $, inside a little box. And then go ahead and help us with your donation. All right. I think we're done with all the housekeeping. Let's get this baby started. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Hollis.
Greg, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And each and every one of you that went out of your way to give me a birthday message yesterday, thank you so much. I love and appreciate you all. A lot of people think that they can't do 500 or 600 messages in a day. Yeah, you can if you respond back to everyone that sent me messages on every platform. And then on top of that, all the wonderful messages that were left on Facebook. So, it's when moments like that happen, it's pretty incredible. And more than that, it's always a reason that people can reach out, you know what I mean, and tell you what they meant to you. And so thanks again. I'm just totally overwhelmed. Every year it seems to get gooder, and that's probably a nice sign. So like Craig's intro, I wish for each and every one of you and pray for each and one of you that that it never becomes it becomes a source of joy and staying in the joy of you answering back and putting hearts on 500 messages of people that wish you a happy birthday and tell you how much they mean. And a special shout out to Mary. Mary was nice enough to send me a bunch of little goodies. I tell you, I thought I could eat one whole chocolate bar at a time, but I think I'm higher than a kite. It's just like so, Mary, thank you so much for sending those incredible gifts. And I know that, well, I think it was Jody. Jody reached out to me and said she was going to send me a fruit thing. And for whatever reason, she couldn't, but she sent me a picture of her trying to order it. And I said, listen, thoughts are things. So, so Jody, I was going like, well, what's that phrase? You know, well, it was in the thought, right? You know what I mean? It was in the thought of doing so. So Jody, thank you so much. So, one quick thing I want to share with you guys. You guys are going to see yesterday. We recorded the podcast that will be released tomorrow, and we launched Unlimited Wisdom. And so I'm waiting for the paperwork to get back, but unlimitedwisdom.org is going to be a 501c3. And I'm just going to start raising millions and millions of dollars for children. It's going to be fun. I need each and every one of you, as much as you allow yourself to believe that you're part of this. I really truly believe, you know, when we talk about children, it's easy to understand how you have a birth of a child, right? It's usually two parents. But I want you guys to really believe in your heart that this inner circle and all of you allowing me to step into that and sort of saying, "Hey, Robert, you can do more." And you know, what about this? And Corky being one of those people. Yeah, right now unlimitedwisdom.org goes to the YouTube site, and we'll figure out what we want to do. But I want every one of you to feel like parents of this vision. How's that for responsibility? So if we're all together and whatever you call that imaginator state, imaginate, if we're all in that state and things are birthed from that, I want you guys to know is, you know, just like, you know, Corky being involved in the inner circle and he got that big breakthrough and going, oh, so I can focus on one thing. And I heard all about it. Unfortunately, I haven't seen it yet, but you guys are probably waiting for me to be quiet so Matt can take over. But it's like I heard you guys had an incredible inner circle. And yeah, that was very, very interesting for me not being with you guys. All I can tell you is no weapon formed against me will prosper. That's all I can tell you. And so I don't know why some people want to get more of detail because we do this as human beings. We're going through a struggle. Does everyone realize that we're always in a struggle? It's like, man, I'm just always struggling. I seem like I'm always, you know, fighting. That's called being alive. I promise you, when you no longer feel like you're wrestling, there's the better word. You know, is whether you're a wrestler or not. But if you're constantly wrestling with new concepts and new ideas and new imagination, you're right in the right spot. There's nothing wrong with you. Are you hearing me? There's nothing wrong with you. So the outside world wants to tell us that there's something wrong with us. I'm always in anxiety. You know, it's mind-boggling to me stepping forward in this imagination that we're creating, where I know that unlimited wisdom will impact hundreds of millions of people. Hundreds of millions of people. We'll look at a YouTube channel one day and yours will be the same, where there's billions of views. That's where we're going. Because if you teach people how to stay in the track, right? The what I
Vortex,
no, because people get freaked out when you
tractor beam.
the tractor beam, okay? Um, because here's something I want to share with you guys, and then we'll get into the talks. When you guys see I know you guys are blown away by the AMA. If you're not, that's okay. When the student's ready, the teacher appears. It's like, I'm no longer going to want you to get something that you're not ready for, right? And then when you hear the podcast that we do yesterday of what unlimited wisdom is, yeah, I know the reason I say unlimited profits, because unlimited wisdom will create unlimited profits. Okay, it will be a flow of a community of people. So here's one thing that I want to say to you guys, to my heart. I don't want to take long. So when you grab on, if you haven't seen this, please rewatch the beginning of the last AMA. All right. But when we're talking about imagining and being imaginators, right? And like, I see this. I see the logo of Imaginator on the back of a red super cape. And we mail those super capes out to people. And if you're struggling and wrestling, you just put your super cape on that has Imaginator on it, and you just step into the tractor beam. Are you guys following me? All right. So now here's one thing that I want you guys to get. Do you guys realize that you already imaginate all day, every day? Everything that you do, everything that you have, everything that you utilize, you imaginate it. Now, let me take this a little further, because I know I do it all the time. But then I asked my wife, Carrie, I said, listen, when you decide that you're going to go shopping, it's like 20, 30 minutes to town. So she does her Walmart, her Target, then her Costco. You know, she's got this thing, right? And what an incredible woman. You guys probably do the same thing. She knows what things are less expensive at what store. And then she writes the list down of what she's going to get from each part of the store. And then on top of that, I asked her, I said, so do you imagine going through the store? She goes, oh, yeah, I know every aisle. I know where the stuff is in every aisle so that I can get.
Uh-oh.
The only
Oh
person
no.
is
Oh,
my
there we
wife.
go.
Yeah. So is
Your
my
internet
wife.
tapped out for a minute.
Oh, and so what would you last hear?
That mom visualizes what she's going to do before she goes.
Okay. So I asked her, I said, so when you get to the store, do you know where the items are? She goes, oh, absolutely. I have this efficient path that I go right through. Now, as I'm saying this to you, I know that I'm weird, but I believe that I'm around a bunch of weird people, right? So I said, so not only do you imagine efficiently going through the store, but when you got a really good pace, do you actually imagine like, hey, I set a record time? Because if you're going to do a mundane thing like shopping, driving, maybe your frickin' job, maybe whatever you do, Do any of you have this imagination that you do where you're like, well, there's no one better at chopping wood than me. That's for damn sure. I'm like the best damn wood chopper. It's where does that imagination come from? So then what we do is when we tell ourselves that we need to imaginate a little more. Like I would like to have 1,000 people in my organization. And if everyone was on a subscription, I would make this amount of money. And that would allow me to do this. See, then what we do, listen closely, is we stop imagining. And we get out of our heart and we start thinking with our brain. And pardon my language, we just mess it all up. Because now we're thinking about doing instead of imagining and doing it. So you guys all imagine all day, every day about some of the funniest and littlest things. When I'm doing a project like unlimitedwisdom.org, my mind goes X amount of subscribers, X amount of views, X amount of ad revenue, X amount goes to children. Just there it is. Put my head down, put it in my imagination, things come out of the woodwork. People come to me from all over. Hey, I met you years ago. I seen you on the YouTube. I'm ready to do your business. I'm going like, man, that's pretty obvious. That's pretty simple to me. Oh, by the way, I'm going to bring in thousands of people. How can I help you? Then the next thing you know, they brought in thousands of people. That's how imagination works for me. So if imagination like that would work for me, why wouldn't it work for you? You ready? Why would imagination of building $1 million a year income, why would that imagination work for me and not work for you? I need you to really think about this, because when I tell you what it is, all of you should get a bomb in your soul and it will paradigm shift immediately. So I want you to think, why would I be able to attract through imagination $1 million in income a year and you can't? Ready? Because I'm not doing it for me. I built this for my wife. All my businesses I built for my wife and my kids. And then when I stopped around 200,000 a year, because that's a lot of money, then I ran into a person that said, well, how many people are you helping? Well, what do you mean? I'm helping a lot of people, because they're affiliates of my organization. He goes, no, how much money are you giving to children? And all my answer could be is not enough. So when you're thinking about you and what you're going to do with the money and how much money you need and what kind of rank you need, then you're not using the same imagination as I am. Because all day, every day, I'm giving a gift to somebody that has ears to hear to change their family tree. So that's why I don't take it personal. See, to me, I'm not married to the process. I just know that if I talk to enough people, I'll find the ears to hear. But I know my language is different, and I know my intent in saying the message is different than your guys's. Because the people feel like I'm really there to help them out. They don't feel from me that I'm going to bait and switch them. They don't feel for me that I'm going to trick them. They don't, I make them feel the opposite. I'm so sincere in asking them if they know of anyone that really needs to make some extra money right now. They feel from me what they don't feel from you. They feel from me is, wow, this person's talking like they don't even need me. It hasn't brought up the company, the comp plan, the products. So now watch this. I got involved in a company that you guys all know of. And I went out and created 4.7 million. So me getting subscribers in that business model, how is it different than me getting subscribers for Inner Circle? For me, it's easier because the money goes to children, and Unlimited Wisdom allows them to mentally actually get into the place where they imagine so they can become an imaginator and help other people get where they want. Listen to this statement, and then we're done. If you help people imagine, then you will get what you imagine. And so when I'm sitting down with someone like Coach Bob, and I go, give me your magic number. What's your magic number? Coach Bob, I'll utilize you.
100,000.
So you want to make 100,000 a month?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, a year.
Oh, got to be clear.
Okay.
Got to be clear.
All right. Yeah.
So if you want to make 100,000, that's a year, 100,000 a year. That's
Yeah. Let's just
83,000.
start out there. Yeah.
Right. 8,333 a month, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you followed one of my blueprints, I'm doing $9.99 for a subscription on my YouTube.
Okay.
Matt, is it true that we get paid $7?
Yeah.
Okay, so after everything's done, a subscriber would be $7. So if I took 8,333 and I divided,
This is how I do everything, by the way, when I'm thinking about building anything, is you figure out these numbers.
you got to have a plan. Are people like imagining stuff and then don't have a plan? Well, I'm sure some people do. So let's round it up. We need 1,200 people on subscription. Bob, do you think it's possible for you to do that? You're by yourself with no help?
Yeah, I think I could do that.
Yeah. See, if I'll call and ask people if they know anyone that needs to make extra money, all I got to do is change my words. Hey, Bob, do you know anyone right now that's wrestling, trying to figure out how to get to $8,333 a month?
Oh, sure.
I know how to get them out of it. It's $9.99. Here's a link. Now, some people are immediately, because I know how you guys think. Thank you, by the way, Bob.
Oh.
So I know a lot of you are what you think, which God, whatever you want to call it, just didn't give me this mentality. I don't have it. Maybe because of my childhood or whatever. And it's like, well, why would I want to promote you? I don't get paid anything. Do you know how many trainings I've promoted in my life? I've gotten millions and millions of people in front of inspirational people that could get them to imagine. And it's something weird. That person inspired them and got them to imagine, so they made millions. And then once the person learned that they could imagine themselves, then they made millions. And if they happened to be in business with me, I made millions. Pretty interesting, huh? So if you had an active subscriber in any business and some of you are going, wow, I don't hear Robert just straight out saying the name of the company is it. Because now we're going to help people imagine to create whatever they want in life. If they want to make money, I got a very easy solution. But you have to be doing it through the imagination of helping other people that want to imaginate. So you be an imaginator, and through in imagination, you can share a plan with them where they can change the rest of their life forever. That's what I do that other people don't. Quick question. Do any of you, when you're around me and you hear me talking, is there any of you doubting where I'm going? Here's the only thing we don't have in equal is I believe that about you. Because I know what it took. It took for me to make a decision mentally no longer to do the things that were sabotaging my life. Those were easy to figure out because it was virtually every freaking thing I was doing. That's not working. That's not working. That's not working. So I was pretty humble when I met my mentor and very open to him just saying, it's just the numbers. Find those that have ears to hear. And I went, I was not one of the people. I never said this. But I don't have any income. No, I got immediately that I don't have any income. I don't need to say that out loud. I'm just like, let me get this right. If I'm so enthusiastic that I can get people in front of your message and through your message, you can get them to imagine, then I become the beneficiary? Yeah. Watch the hell out. Because it's never been about me. So I know why people can't imagine. Can I walk you through that? Let me do Lisa Marie. She's coming up. Okay. I would like a better life. I would like pretty good sizable hunk of cash just to erase the past. Get everything square. Okay. Then I'm going to use some money to build Buddy's place. That's pretty much. I love Freddie, so I'll probably do some cool things for him. All right. But that's pretty much it. That's it. I want to rescue animals. I want people to be able to come around and be around animals. There's my plan. Okay. So why aren't you contacting people? Why aren't you building relationships? Why aren't you doing that? And Lisa Marie goes, because I beat myself up a lot. Wait a minute. This is a gift for them. This is not for you. Keep going. Yeah, but I've made some stupid mistakes. Again, this is not about you. This is about them. Yeah, but. Okay, so as long as you keep beating yourself up and you won't connect with people because you don't believe that it's for you, doesn't mean it's not for other people. And let me give you a fast example with Lisa Marie's imagination. So what if people don't like animals? Why should you build Buddy's place?
It's not about them. It's about the animals.
What? Say that again.
It's not about them.
You would have no problem. People post on your social media, I don't like horses. And it's like, wouldn't you just go, I'm sorry you don't. It is not going to stop me a millisecond. You see what I mean? You wouldn't try to convince the person to like horses.
No, no.
You wouldn't
I
call them an idiot. You wouldn't get in an argument with them.
mm,
You're too busy focused on doing what you imagine. But we get in business and then those people affect us because we make it about us. Hey, Robert, I talked to a person today and they said they didn't like affiliate marketing. They don't like horses? See what I mean? That's
right.
why I do stuff like that. When people go, yeah, but the market's saturated. And I'm going, do you know what this is? This is the exact circumference of an esophagus of a sperm whale. And they go, what does that have to do with anything? I thought we were playing a game. You were asking some questions that have absolutely nothing to do with anything, but yet you feel they're important.
Mhm. Wow. Yeah, that
So
is so true.
just be bold and go, not interested. So you don't have to talk about everything that I'm doing and how you think it's not ethical and how you think that I'm stealing from people and that this is a scam and that I'm doing this for alternative. Come on, Lisa Marie, your nonprofit for taking care of animals and rescuing them. You're probably one of those nonprofits where you and Freddie are taking 95% of the money and only 5%. Hey, you guys better be ready for the haters because they have imagination too.
I've had a few. I've had a few.
So
Actually, Eric handled one of them for me. I didn't have to say a word.
beautiful, beautiful. So Craig, I'm going to turn it over to you, but we already got Lisa Marie right here. So
Yeah.
Well, then we might as well go ahead and get started with Lisa Marie, since
It,
her hand was up. And thank
yeah.
you, Lisa, for sharing with us, at least to begin. Let's keep it going.
You are
Oh,
amazing,
by the way,
Robert.
before we go ahead and start, a shout out to Jody Falcon. She donated to the super chat.
thank you.
Happy trips around the sun to you, Robert.
Well, thank you. Love you, love you, love you.
Oh yeah. You know what? We are the same age for a little while.
For just
Just
a
so you
little
know.
while.
My birthday's next week, so
Oh, are you a Pisces?
I am a
Yeah,
feisty one too.
I have absolutely no clue what the hell that means. No one ever sat down and I had one person go, "Oh my God, you're a tiger," and I'm going, "What's that?" And they go, "Well, you're under the tiger sign," and I don't even know why I even asked. And I said, "So what are you?" And she went, "I'm just a skunk." I went,
Skunk.
I'd be not believing in that. I can believe in the Chinese calendar
Yeah.
because I'm a frickin' tiger.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
I'm
someone,
a fish, so I don't
yeah.
know
So
the better.
So I always thought, what do you mean I'm a fish? I don't care. I don't care.
You know, Robert, I gotta tell you, it's almost like the last at least 3, maybe 4 months. Every time that you go on live, whatever, you were doing lives every day then, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like whatever seemed to be weighing on me, it's like you did the same thing today again. I mean, everything you talked about, I have on my list. So I don't know. Does anybody else have their hand up? Because I just might be a bit.
Listen. Okay. So
Okay.
when you guys, it's funny how little girls are told that they have women's instincts. And some women believe they have them, and some women don't. It's sad that boys are not told that. All right. Because maybe they don't, right? But I just know that I definitely know how to imagine. And why I'm good at being an imaginator is because it was flat out survival for me. I
Right.
constantly and the awful, ugly situations I was in, I was always the imaginator, finding ways that I could make other people smile. And it just works for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? And so Lisa Marie, when you're plugging into that, I can't tell you how many times the way awareness and consciousness works, which we're all trying to figure it out. I don't know. I don't know that I don't know. I just know, I do know that I'm plugged in. I do know that. And
Mm-hmm.
so it still makes me feel so blessed when people like you, Lisa Marie, go, okay, I had a bunch of things that I needed to talk to you about, and thanks for talking about them, and now I can go. You know what I mean? It's just, I mean, that's the most beautiful place for me.
Right. I'm just not quite there, Robert, but I'm so close.
What,
Uh,
let's say a different words, right? Let's say
Okay.
different words. Like say, I'm there and looking forward to getting gooder and gooder.
Oh, I am. Every time I have just a little, oh, like,
Yeah.
okay, so I don't know what the date, I need to know the date the first time Matthew came on here and told us about, AI and the which things he was using and all that. I need that date. If somebody could look that up, I would appreciate that. I've been searching and I don't recall what date it was.
Okay.
Anyway, okay, so because I want to go back there, but last night, ever since that video, that day that we did all that, ever since then, I've been trying to figure out CapCut. Okay. And it was so frustrating because there's just so much noise. There's so much. And I was pulling my hair out, just going bonkers. I finally made one last night. I finally made a video and I was super excited about it. And I'm going to share that with you guys if that's okay. It's only, 30 seconds. So I, I think it turned out really cute. So I'm super excited about that. I
Okay.
can't wait to get back on there and try it again.
Okay.
Okay. So that lifted me hugely. Now, Fred knows that I'm going to talk about him a little bit tonight. And I honestly, I don't like putting myself out there quite like that, but I think it's going to help and it's going to
Okay.
help other people.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm very angry with him right now.
Okay.
Um, if he doesn't, if he doesn't want to support this, that's okay. It's okay. But, but,
I'm sorry.
always that freaking but, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a trigger that comes up in our language when what we just said we didn't believe in.
Oh, I sometimes I could strangle him.
Well, yeah,
Seriously,
I'm sure.
seriously. And he knows it too. But,
So why do you allow him to upset you?
well, it, he keeps he keeps making me feel like I cannot do this. And I know he shouldn't be made
So
to make me
don't
feel
get mad at
anyway.
him. Don't get mad at him. Just prove him wrong.
Boy, I want that so damn bad.
Well,
So damn bad.
you would get that quickly if technology didn't frustrate you and make you pull your head out.
Possibly.
Okay,
But he's finding every negative. And we need to
so
separate ourselves from
so
that.
let him win the award on that.
Wow, that takes so much control. It
But you could
does
do
because
it. You could do it. When we see people that are being bullied, because that's what it is.
it is.
It's just bullying.
Absolutely. And that
What,
pisses
what,
me off.
what do we say what do we say to people when it's not us. Honestly, Lisa Marie, I got this person that I'm not going to say their name. They're in my family, but they just will not stop beating me up, telling me I can't do this. What should I do, Lisa Marie?
Prove him wrong. Ignore him. Ignore
I
him.
shouldn't
Just
I shouldn't kill him. I shouldn't kick him out of the house. I shouldn't not be around him anymore. No, we tell people they're being bullied that if you keep reacting to people bullying you, they're going to do it more. We go, why are you giving them a reaction? Well, you don't understand. You're right, I don't. I don't understand. Why would you allow another individual to pull you out of the tractor beam?
I know. See, that pisses me off about I get just as mad at myself for doing that. And
But
I
but
know
just
better.
but the more you're aware of it, the faster you'll correct it.
You're right. I have been correcting it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like I get the little steam up, you know what I mean? So someone says something, you're like, and then
I know, ready to
and,
pounce.
and then go, just giggle, just giggle. No, ain't working this time. I'm not going to allow your thinking and your words to make me unproductive. I'm
And
going to
that's exactly what it's doing.
I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave this world making an impact or die trying.
Mhm. I know I can do this. I know
So
I can.
you are doing it. You are doing it right now.
Well, and see, that got stopped too. I think it's just okay. So this monetizing thing,
Right.
all right. Let's talk about that for a second because that really threw a monkey wrench into it for me. I feel like sometimes, Robert, it's just like doors are slamming. Do I need to take it that way?
Um, not if you're not if you're looking for something to stop you. You shouldn't look at doors slamming and resistance if you're looking for a way out. Because what you did is you attracted that. You connected to the very things because you're not right now in the right imaginary space because you allow. I'll give you a perfect example. Um, Unrealistic expectations. See, when we can't trade expectations for appreciation, all right, then what we do is we go, this is just not worth it. This is just not worth it because there's things that are constantly being slammed in front of me, in front of me, in front of me. And there's just all these things that just keep seeming like I'm going through a lot of resistance and things are just not flowing the way they're supposed to. What you're saying and what you're thinking is, I don't really want to do this. So I'm going to attract, I'll give you, here's the other download. Some of you will get this right away. So if you no longer want to be in a relationship, I'm done. Then what we do is we act a certain way to get that person to react in a way that gives us the decision we can leave. See, we set that all up. That's all our imagination. So I'm done with this. I don't want to do it anymore. So then what I'm going to do is I know what trigger really gets them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just not going to text. I'm not going to reach out and tell them what I'm doing after work. And I'm just going to pretend I forgot. So then the person has all this stuff that happens in their mind and they get an over controlled emotion. And when they do it, then when you get home, they go off on you. Why didn't you send me a message? Why didn't you respond to my texts and our calls? And you go, see, I told you that you're a control freak. It's over. I'm done. Get your ass up. That's how great our imagination is. So the question that you ask if everything seems like a resistance and it's not being allowed,
Mhm.
your imagination's not big enough. You're not emotionally invested in your imagination.
No, because it I'm constantly hesitating.
No, yeah. But so that's what you need to do is part of your imagination is gotten you to this point. But when I seen that I made $17 or something like that on my first money I got from YouTube, all I could see was it's going to go 17. It's going to go to 70, 170. It's going to go to 1170. It's like, I just go, what do you mean? I got paid from, I got paid from YouTube. So I need to do more and be more consistent than I am right now. I can do that. I can do that. So it's like climbing to a top of a mountain. The first hard part of it is at the beginning and in the middle. Once you're past the middle, it's like, well, I've gone too far. I might as well go to the top.
Right, right. So yeah, I do feel that too. If I can just push through. Okay, can I ask a couple of questions about the monetizing? And because Matthew and I were going to kind of go through a little bit of that today,
Yeah,
if
I'm
if
I'm
there's
I'm here to
time.
answer any of that stuff.
Cool.
Okay, Robert, I just had one more question.
Okay.
You know what? Those questions can wait. Let me continue because there's other people with their hand up.
Okay.
Okay, I can, yeah, thank you. Okay, Matt, monetizing. Now, I got so super excited when Robert donated on my that was just I just love that. I thought, oh
Now,
my gosh.
did you immediately after seeing that just go, man, you know what it's going to feel like when tens of people do this and hundreds of people do this? Did you imagine that?
I did for a second. I did.
Good. So then how did
Yeah.
it feel? How did it feel when you imagined that?
Oh my gosh. I couldn't believe it. I
So then,
thought I could
so
really
then
do this.
see the words that you used? I couldn't
I
believe it.
couldn't believe it. Yeah. I was shocked.
Wow, look at someone donated to me. That
Hmm.
means other people will donate to me. That
Well, you're special, Robert.
you're special. You're special.
Uh,
You guys don't, if you don't imagine that you can be somebody else, you always, I mean, a better version of yourself, you're always going to stay the current version of yourself.
right, right.
So you got to imagine yourself doing gooder and gooder and gooder and gooder. And
I
so,
do.
so you said, so first of all, I'm proud of you for imagining that. What stops
Mhm.
you from imagining that right now?
Another thing Fred presented to me as being an issue, and that
Is,
was
is,
monetizing.
is he an expert?
I told him, I said, I need to go talk to a tax man to find out for sure. It just threw him for a loop because it did mess up some things for us. Well, first of all, well, no, it hasn't yet. Don't get me wrong. But I received the 1099 from MDC,
Okay.
which I have before, but it just didn't dawn on either one of us because we did a whole transfer thing here within the last 2 years. Everything is different. We're both
Okay.
retired now. He just reached, full age, whatever. I still got a little ways to go, but so we're on like Obamacare. And so um that screwed everything up. We'll have to go back through 2023 and pay for every single month. Yeah, they already told us we had to. Okay, so please tell me what I need to know
Yeah.
here because he's freaking out with this monetizing now, and I need to shut it off.
So,
And I
so,
thought I
so, so he's saying, let's just stay at the level of life that we can, so we don't want to make any more money.
Right. Well, no, he wants
No, he
a
doesn't.
guarantee that I'm going to make
No,
so
no, he
much to
doesn't.
cover it up.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. There ain't a
No,
there ain't a damn thing that you could do to satisfy Freddie. Nothing.
I agree.
Okay. The only person that can satisfy Freddie is Freddie. So if Freddie wants to think that way he thinks, oh my God, I've been beating the shit out of this woman forever, telling her she can't make any money. And now she's making money, and that's gonna fuck up everything. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Nice. Freddie needs to stop being a fucking bully. You can have him watch this. So it's all based on income. And you can't do income until you have a business on 1099. If you had my tax accountant, you'd be getting money back. Because 1099 is income that that they have to send a 1099 to the government saying that I made a certain amount of money. I give that 1099 to my accountant and he shreds it. Do you know what I mean by shredding it? He makes it look like my company didn't make any money. How much taxes do you make on no income?
Right.
So Lisa Marie, have you spent more money in the last 2 years on building your imagination than you made in income?
The last 2 years I have, unfortunately. Yeah.
That's called a loss.
Hmm.
So when you go to the Social Security and said, I took some of my money and I attempted to make some extra money. I made some money, but I lost more than I made. And that's going to screw up your Social Security and Medicare? No. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, but it's the medical insurance that it's going to screw up. That it could end up costing us 1,200 a month.
It's not income. Did you get a 1099 from YouTube?
Not yet. No,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
no,
So it hasn't screwed you up yet, has it?
no. The MDC one did.
Okay. Do you file taxes? I know we're talking about a lot of different things here, but do you
Yeah.
file taxes?
Hmm.
Do you get money back every year?
Well, we have, but now we haven't now since we're both retired. I mean, we still file. We have to file, but we don't get
Wow,
anything back.
I heard that too. I heard that no matter who you are, if you don't file taxes, that's tax fraud.
Hmm.
Okay. So now what you got to do is step into an arena of finding someone that does business, self-employed business taxes. And they will show a loss on your income tax return.
They did that for me one year there because I claimed the internet, I claimed part of the electric, I bought new office furniture, I claimed all of
Yes.
that and wrote it off as a loss.
Yes.
I
Do
can
that
still do
again.
that.
What?
I can still do that then.
Yep.
Okay, what about the YouTube thing? Buddy, he's freaking out because Buddy's place, I will have to claim all of that. But I told him I just have to set up a separate account, right?
All it you're using. I guarantee you, as Buddy's Place gets donations, I gave you a donation. Do you know how much I'm allowed to give you as a donation without claiming it? $10,000.
Really?
Yeah. So all you got to do is tell Freddie, listen, we're diving into a different part of life. And that life has write-offs because we're doing Buddy's Place and I'm doing stuff on the internet and I'm doing a YouTube channel. All this falls underneath an umbrella that does not increase your taxes. It increases your lifestyle. So let's just go to a crazy place and we'll get to your other question. Okay?
Okay.
Do you think that I make good income?
Yeah.
Guess how much the Hollis organization is paid in taxes in the last 5 years?
Oh, in the last 5 years, I would have.
4.7 million.
I was gonna say,
How much do you think a Hollis organization paid in taxes?
1 million. Really?
0. Why?
It's
Because that's how the congressmen and senators set it up. They made the laws. They made the IRS code. I didn't.
mm-hmm. You just got to have the right tax person then.
You get the right tax person and he goes, listen, well, what should we do with the money? Why don't we pay Terry 400,000, pay Matt 400,000. Let's give 400,000 to charity. And we're going to make your income look 0. It's called pass through. Then that money passes through to the owners of the nonprofit. And guess how much my W-2 was?
0. 0.
And my tax accountant is Josh Wegel's tax accountant and NDC's tax accountant.
So it's just another reason not to do what I want to do. And I could do this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
just don't get
totally
the I was gonna say, don't get the cart ahead of the horse. You know, like I think a lot of people do that, right, Dad? Like you
That's
get
why
in
I
this
said
situation where
you
you're
know how
thinking
long it's gonna
about
take to get $100? You know what I mean? It's gonna take
Mhm.
a long time. I haven't
Or
figured
even if
out
it
I
doesn't,
didn't want to.
the larger you get, the more people you're gonna have to help you, just like we have here, right?
Yeah.
Like I think people think, oh, how am I going to do this thing as it gets bigger? But they're not realizing the fact that in that process, you'll build a community of support where people will be like, hey, listen, I'm a tax attorney. I'll do your taxes. I'll make sure that they work out for Buddy's Place. You don't even have to worry about it. We'll make sure that we handle all that. And those people will show up to support you because they know that your goal and your mission is large and they want to help you accomplish that. And
You
that's
know what? And I see that happening, Matthew. I do. I see that happening. And I don't know if it scares me or maybe it scares him. I don't know.
Well, if it scares him, this is the only thing I want you to tell Freddie is I don't think that you have enough facts to make that decision.
He's telling me that. That's what he's telling me. But
But he
I
wants,
you
do.
guys could have a talk with ChatGPT.
yeah,
Yes, I've already done that. I have all the information step by step. First, the 501(c). Well, that feels like a catch 22 because I need the money to go get the 501(c).
that's
Do you know
right.
what I mean?
That's
So,
right. So
and
that's
he wants me
already,
to shut it off.
well, see, think about this. As you pull in revenue as fast as you can, right? You already have a place with your imagination for every dollar you make.
I do. I do.
So I got to clean this place up.
Yeah,
I want to build a couple of new shelters. I got to feed them. What's the feed cost? I need to hire a couple of people and get some volunteers to make me happen. I want to
right.
get bigger. I want to buy more property. Your imagination in that place is your goal is to do this. But as you're making money, understand that you will one day have a tax accountant that will W-2 you as the person and the organizer, the CEO, or the person that's running the foundation. Now, as soon as you can step out of that, the better you can get. So, so as soon as you're making money, now you go find a person that is good at doing that. And you say, listen, what would you want to get paid? Now you're paying this person that's a wizard at doing it.
See, that's what I told he says, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I said, I will
Wow.
hire somebody to do it.
I don't know why Freddie would do that to you. I'm just telling you, if Freddie was face to face with me right now, I'd be telling him the same thing.
I
So
know you would.
there's nothing worse than a person that is coming from a place of fear that doesn't know the information. So then they're putting a wet blanket on you.
Well, he is learning because he's secretly been researching too.
Yeah,
He
good.
just told me that last night, and I had no idea he was doing that. But he says, so you don't know anything.
That's direct questions. If I'm on, tell him this is the way he's got to search the internet with the exact question that he's drilling you with.
Right.
Okay. So I currently am retired. I am currently on this insurance. I am currently on Social Security. If I decided to start a home-based business, is this going to affect my insurance? And he doesn't have the time and day to read all the articles and listen to all the YouTube channels of going, nope, that's why I got a job. That's what they'll say. My job is to make sure that doesn't happen to you. So there's three kinds of veterans, right? Here's the three kinds of veterans. Everyone's trying to screw me. Fuck them. That's one veteran. Another veteran, I can't tell you how hard I've tried to get my benefits.
Yeah.
I'm frustrated. I give up. They keep telling me no. This is awful. And it is. And then you got the veterans that reach out to somebody and say, you want your veterans right? I'll get them. And there's some bad and there's some really, really good. And you find out that the guy's a veteran himself. And that's all he does is get, veterans benefits. And I mean, the guy is a freaking bulldog. Everyone knows that he's a bulldog. And when he submits your paperwork, you get fucking approved. Those are the three kind of veterans out there.
Right.
Some veterans got full benefits, full retirement, everything paid for, and some veterans are homeless.
Mm-hmm. And that's sad.
It's right here. It's right between their ears because they haven't done what Mr. Rogers says. They're not looking for the helpers.
Right.
So one person has no legs and he's homeless, and another person's in a $20,000 wheelchair that's got tracks on it. Because people like Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump is making sure they get the freaking wheelchair. He doesn't know that the homeless guy exists because he doesn't believe that anyone's there to help him.
Right.
So what was the question before you get to Matt?
Wow. I forgot.
No problem.
I forgot that you gave me a lot to think about.
Just tell Freddie that the answers are on video on YouTube. And also tell him it's okay for him to be scared that something could happen, but that's what he
says.
The opposite use of imagination.
Right. Right. Yeah.
That's the opposite use of imagination. You guys are getting up in years, right? How do you do estate planning?
Yeah.
Who's going to get what? Are your stuff taken care of when you get done? It's like, are we going to have a piece of property in a home that's totally debt free? And then when we die, the government just takes it? What do we do there? See, I don't know, Lisa Marie, but I'm telling you what, I'm going to find someone that does. I'm going to find someone that goes, no, listen, you do this and you do this and you do this quick loan thing. And then the home's no longer, and the piece of property is no longer in your personal name. It's in the foundation name.
You know, that's something to think about because what
Okay,
if
so
one of us ends up in a nursing home? They will take every,
they
and
will
we do,
take the, you know why I got this download to talk about that? Is because when you get up in age, you're going, listen, I don't have anybody to give this piece of property to that I think that would do it any justice whatsoever. And so if something happens to one of us, I guess the government just takes it because we can't afford to be in a healthcare facility.
see, and I thought of that already. I wanted this, I could always donate it to the rescue or whoever has
Yes.
it could stay a rescue farm, is what I was thinking.
Yep.
Hmm,
And so you are going to find the right people if it's not from the people already in the inner circle.
yeah.
But what did you say about the 501c3? I don't have the money to do that right now. Well, neither do you on estate planning.
Neither way.
I said you don't have the money to pay for an estate planner. So we got to get the money for that. All right, let's focus on my imagination, build my YouTube channel then. Let's
Right.
go back. Let's go back to figuring this out.
Right. Absolutely. Dang
So
it.
I
Dang
believe
it.
in
Dang
you.
it.
You feel better?
I do. I
Yeah.
do. Thank you, Robert. I
Yeah.
love you so much.
Focus on what you imaginate the best. Be imaginator to other people. Get them to imagine, and just never that feeling that you had going one day. There's going to be a lot of people that are donating,
Yeah.
and everything that you need and everything that you dreamt that Buddy's Place could be, all the people and the funds will come to you for that.
Mm-hmm. I believe that too. I
People
do.
that will run it, the people that will take care of your finances, the people that take it over. Just one last fact, and you guys can Google this. You guys have heard of this crazy guy named Howard Hughes. Okay. So did you guys know that Howard Hughes was so pissed off at the government that he formed a couple of foundations and nonprofit organizations and transferred everything that he had into those because he didn't want anyone taking his money, right? So after he gets the best of people are doing that, we all know that he died, but we also know how he died. You know, seclusion. You know what I mean? Thinking that everyone is going to get him, including the government. Peeing in mason jars, watching movies. I mean, the guy just totally worried himself and imaginated himself to a nobody, right? Just staying in one place, wouldn't see anybody, never goes out. So lost his whole entire life because he's scared that the government was coming after him. So then he dies, and he allowed people to take over his foundations because he already had that planned out. And as soon as he died, now his foundations do grants for thousands and thousands of people and helping them finance the imagination that they had with whatever thing that he wanted to do. He hid his money because he didn't want anyone to take it. And he didn't know what he was doing. And now his money is taking care of people forever
That's amazing.
because he was hiding it. See, if he came up with the idea, I'm going to take
Right?
people forever, Howard Hughes was not that guy. I'm just going to put all this money in something that's going to just take care of people that have great ideas and great imagination. And these grants will go to them, and these kids can have their own laboratory and their own assistants and everything that they need to pull off this invention.
Hmm.
And no, do you ever hear about all the grants that Howard Hughes Institute does every year?
No.
Now, that would be a good story. So we're going to leave that out of the news.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's
Son of a
like,
bitch.
but when you're doing things for the right reasons with the right imagination, you can't stop. You cannot stop the amount of resources that you're going to have.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to happen just by
Okay.
the different people that I'm, crossing paths with. It's
They
been,
stay in that circle.
yeah,
And for Freddie, I believe that Freddie knows me well enough that you should
Freddie
just look at,
respects you
yeah.
very much. And
So you
I could
should tell
never tell
him,
somebody else this, but
do I look like a tax accountant? Do I look like an estate planner? Do I look like a person that knows how to run a nonprofit? Why don't you ask Robert that?
right, right. I asked him to come on here with me tonight. I did.
And so, yeah, well, he didn't come on, if he's hearing me, he didn't come on because he in his heart felt that he was just scared and he was approaching it the wrong way.
And he tells me this, I'm just looking out for you. I'm just looking out for you. And it's like, stop looking out for me, will you?
Well, you don't want him to not look out for you,
No,
but
but my
if
goodness.
he's going to look out for you, at least don't imaginate bad shit. At least
Right.
take the time to, set up an appointment with an estate planner or set up a time with an attorney that does a 501c3 and
Right.
look at him in the face and go,
Yeah.
"Listen,
Yeah.
this is our insurance. I'm now on Social Security. Lisa Marie is going to get there. This is what we have in bills. I
Right.
don't need anything to upset the apple cart. She's
Right.
she just got this title from one of her best friends that she's a freaking imaginator, and she's going to go out and start bringing in all this money on this imagination that she's got. And I am literally scared to death that it's going to ruin everything we're doing.
Right. Right.
So then he can sit across from a guy that's got a bunch of degrees on the wall and goes, listen,
Sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
no, but I'll leave you guys with this. It's got to be up here. Have you guys ever gotten one of these?
Yeah.
Okay. Look what Terry's income is. Okay. And guess what she gets for Social Security? 1,600.
She gets a lot more than I do.
Yeah, I guess if we wait till what, 75, that she can get 2,600.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't think we can rely on this.
Mm-mm.
I was gonna say my generation, it's like, wait, you guys are getting Social Security?
I never thought that I would,
Like,
to
we're
be
not gonna
honest
get
with
any of
you.
that. We're just paying into it. We're not gonna get any of that at my generation.
You know what? I have worked 47 years. I'm getting 1,000 a month. Are you freaking kidding me? A
Yeah, it didn't
thousand a
go with
month.
inflation, that's for sure.
Oh
So
yeah, that I did get $100 raise. So that was for inflation.
But they also changed because of the way that the tax rates have gone. They've also every single year it's dropped down a bracket for who has to pay. So now it's actually hitting that last bracket. So the people that are the least well off are actually getting taxed more this year than they did last year. And that's just the way that the Trump tax plan worked. It started at the top and
Right.
worked its way down each year. So we're now currently at that end year. So
I started collecting early because I didn't think that it would still be there when I was 70 or whatever.
hey,
So hell, give it to me
I
now.
now I guess I could go out and see if I can get Social Security, but
You absolutely. Yeah, 59 and a half actually is when we could retire, but then 62, I started collecting.
without getting too complex, you guys, you just got to know that if you focus on imagination and the joy of the pursuit of happiness, if you can just stay in that tractor beam, the other things that you need will come to you. They'll just will.
Yeah.
So in a blink of an eye, if you're making $8,000 a month, Lisa Marie, then all of a sudden Freddie goes, I guess we can afford insurance.
Right. Right.
And you go, well, you don't have to afford insurance, Freddie, because I made you an employee of Buddy's place. And guess what your job is? What? When everyone has a complaint, you get to take care of the complaints because you're a master at coming up with shit. So you'll be able to relate to them.
Right. You know,
And so
I love him, and
don't worry about your taxes, because the foundation's not only going to pay you, but take care of your taxes. And they're also going to take care of your benefits.
Yeah, I'm like trying to work on all this AI stuff, and as it's going, it's like, okay, if I was thinking about how we were going to do the taxes for all this stuff over the next couple of years, I would go insane. Like there's laws that don't even exist yet. So I don't even know what they're going to do to me. But at the same time, it's like,
or what AI is going to do with the tax system.
Yeah. Yeah, the tax system will definitely change with AI.
It's and there's so many, there are scary things.
Oh yeah.
Especially at our age, Robert. I mean,
well, I'm not worried about insurance. The world's going to end on Thursday. Next Thursday, the world's over. So what I need to have insurance for? The giant mega volcanoes right in Yellowstone Park.
Right.
Yellowstone County.
Hey, we keep having earthquakes out here in California. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you do. The ground is saturated.
Mudslides? Are you guys in those mudslides, Matthew?
No. We're fine. We're fine.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, those have been pretty brutal.
So you feel okay, Lisa Marie, now. You feel okay?
I feel better. I thank you so much for talking to me about such a thing. I'm sorry if I bored everybody else, but it needed to be.
Take that back.
It needed to be asked about, I guess.
I still run into people. I still run into people today that goes, if I had more money, I'd have to pay more taxes. So who lied to you?
Right, exactly. How do you know that?
Who lies
Dang
to
it.
you? But see, these are the same people that if I asked Freddie this question and said, I don't understand how people in Congress and Senate that get paid 200 grand a year, how can they be worth $9 million?
Right.
I bet you Freddie can answer that question.
He might.
He would know the answer, and he would be
Probably
right. So those are the same people that are making those millions of dollars on top of their salary that A, have to find a way to hide it, and two, how to not pay taxes on.
Right. Right.
So not getting into political stuff, but you should have seen how everyone tried to say, did you see that Donald Trump wrote off $900 million on his taxes? There was only two groups of people that watched that. And they went, that ain't fair. And then people like me goes, that is cool. That is awesome.
Right.
And people go, what do you mean? That means that me, as a person that's an imaginator, can really go all out, put everything that I have into creating something. And if it fails, the government's going to allow me to write it off, start over. Those are
they want you to do that. They want you to make a business and try it out. I think that that's one of those interesting things about the US tax code is, if you have the opportunity to do it, why not give it a try, right? And like, I think the fear stops a lot of people because a lot of things could change, right? Like you said, health insurance, right? So there's some people out there that will not take their business higher than it is just because they don't want to have to deal with health insurance for their employees and all those things, right? So they're like, no, we'll just stay at this level and not raise it any higher because then I'd have to deal with all this shit. Not realizing that you just hire somebody as you grow to deal with all that shit. That's what the smart people do. right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't do it
Yeah.
all themselves. That's not
Yeah.
the smartest
We
way to
keep
do
going
things.
back to the shoveling shit. Fred said, there ain't no way you're gonna do that. I said, no, I'm not. I will
Now
hire somebody.
you gotta
We'll have
play.
volunteers.
You gotta move from checkers to chess. You really,
Right.
really do. It's
Right.
the ordinary people on the planet
Right.
are good at checkers. You're unfortunately got to learn how to play chess.
This
Now,
is this
okay,
is difficult enough. And I just
right,
feel like I don't, that is not needed. It
yeah,
just is not
but
needed.
here's the thing. When I found out, Lisa Marie, that I didn't know, I don't need to know how to play chess, that I actually can hire someone that's a chess master to play for me.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So there's those people that are trying to do everything themselves, and then there's other people trying to figure out a way to make enough income to hire more people
Hmm.
to get them to help them get to where they're going.
Right. Right.
So if
Yeah,
you're
Yeah, next step,
right.
right?
And I was gonna
if
say
your
too, AI is gonna
imagination,
catch up as well. So it's like
yeah,
you'll eventually AI will just do all your tax stuff. So
That's
so your
true. Gosh.
imagination is it's Friday, everyone, and you come out and you got a big stack of envelopes that you're paying everybody, and it's one person after another, after another, after another, after another.
Right.
And then you
Yeah,
got all
for
these
sure.
people going, you got all these people saying, oh my God, taking care of animals was always my dream to begin with. And Lisa Marie found out a way for me to take care of me and my family while I would do this for free.
Right. Right.
So you created their imagination because you're an imaginator. And you would
Hmm.
say, hey, you ever think about starting your own business? I'm living my best life, man. I can't wait to show up here, take care of the animals, and rescue other ones. And I'm fine right here. Not
Yeah.
every not everyone is an imaginator,
Yeah.
right? But some people,
That's the best of the best right there.
yeah, but people
Yeah.
imagine, life in a different way. And
Hmm.
we've all heard that saying, the things that you have right now, somebody else is imagining that they wish they had your life.
Right. Right.
So I love you, Lisa
Absolutely.
Marie.
I love you too. You're the bomb. Happy,
Yeah.
happy birthday.
I'm
Love you.
glad you brought this up. I really, really am. So you just take the apology back. I'm glad you brought it up. That
Yeah.
this video will be, here forever. And people are going to have some thoughts. Oh my God, I'd like to really jump in my dream, but I think it could get out of hand. It could generate too much income. And I'm on a fixed income. That's gonna fuck everything up.
Hmm.
Well, everyone gets to say thanks, Freddie, for bringing this up because we covered it. There, there,
Yes.
there's people
Yes.
there's people out there that got your back. They know how to do. Look, we talk about boys and girls right here in Yellowstone County. If you guys looked it up, it's called the Yellowstone Boys and Girls Club, and of course it's for wayward kids, right? But they've always had a foundation that they've always told. So you got a bunch of money, or got to sell the farm. We live in the farm area. So think about kids don't want to take over the farm, you know.
Right.
So we need to live in a place for empty nesters. We don't need a place like this. We need a luxury, leisure world.
Yeah, for sure.
I want a golf cart and
Right?
I want to be around out, and so Yellowstone Boys Club, they do a Yellowstone Boys and Girls Club. They say right on their commercial that if you give them your money, so you just go to them, they sell everything. They're a steward of your income. They take all of that income, put it into an account because they're a nonprofit, and you'll get paid up to 10% a year on the money that you gave them, but it's tax free
Oh, wow.
because you donated it all to the foundation.
Wow.
Wait, I can help boys and girls, you know, get smaller, and you're going
Hmm.
to pay me enough money to be able to take care of the rest of my life? Yeah. I don't have any kids I want to give the money to. I'll give it to some other kids and give it to this nonprofit, and they'll just pay me 10% on my money a year.
How cool is that?
Because if you sold the farm and made millions of dollars, what are you going to do with it? Oh, that's called capital gains.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
That's
Wait.
another argument.
I don't, yeah, I don't even want to get on to that conversation, right? I
Me
busted
neither.
my asshole
Been
all my
there.
life, bought this property, paid it off, did all these improvements to it, made it better. And now
Yep.
if I sell it, I got to pay taxes on the money that I paid taxes on to build the damn place.
Mhm.
Okay. That means that you got to find someone smarter than you.
Right. Dang it.
I love you,
Dang
Lisa.
it. Oh, thank you, Robert. I love you. You
I love
are
you.
amazing.
You're amazing.
Oh, okay. Should I keep talking to Matthew, or maybe I should shut up, take a break, and let Kai go?
Well, let's do that. Let's go to Kai, and then you can come
Okay.
back with Matthew.
Thank
That's
you.
thank you
All
for
right. Sounds good. And let's see. There we go. Let me do a few things here. There we are. And now, Mr. Kai. Ow. Go ahead, open up, and please share with us.
Hey, Robert, can you hear me all right?
I can. How are you, my friend?
Highly blessed and favored and deeply loved, and thank you for kicking my ass today.
Hey, Kai, I love kicking your ass because I allow other people to kick my ass.
Hey, what can I say? I'm your token football.
Well, when we talked about this wrestling, I was telling my youngest son this, just he's planning a trip to Japan. And I said to him, I said, I hope this doesn't scare you, but at 62 years of age, I'm still wrestling. I'm still wrestling. So the things I'm doing now, the biggest part that I got to do to stop beating myself up is keep saying and thinking, you should have did this 10 years ago. You should have did this 20 years ago. See, so that's what I'm dealing with right now. I'm dealing with, I'm switching gears. I'm playing at a bigger level. I'm raising my standards. I'm going to impact more people faster. And now stepping into that realm, just like I talked with Lisa Marie, now I got a bunch of other things that I got to wrestle with that I haven't figured out. And how can we, do more, do it faster? And yeah, it's like it's a and I don't know why a majority of people constantly think negative about wrestling. You know what I mean? And I'm
There's
talking about
67-year-old sumos in Japan who are still at it, so I don't know either. But
so I'm
thank you
just
so much
saying,
for kicking my
yeah,
ass.
I'm just saying to you that I'm just telling you, my friend, thank you for allowing me to be your mentor and to speak into your life, because I just keep saying this and I'll say it again. I know that I know that I know without really knowing you super well that you've established an incredible imagination that for whatever reason, the things that you went through in your life has allowed you to really, really emotionally imagine. Never said those two words together ever. And so, because you have learned this emotional imagination, because it's the only way that Kai can survive.
That is true. That is very true.
So, in the midst of that struggle, is how you stay in that emotional imagination. Even if it's a thing where most people in the world would say, listen, Kai, you got it. I love this. You know what the worst advice that I've gotten in my life? Why don't you be realistic? Because I don't live there. I don't live there. I don't know how to live there. I'm always someplace other than where I am. Where did I learn that, Kai? Not having a home, being in a cell. You're you're going to die or want to commit suicide if you can't imagine yourself doing stuff once you got the stuff that you need, the resources that you need. And so don't get mad at yourself for every once in a while having someone pull you out of the tractor beam.
And I'm not mad because
We're-
miraculously, after having that conversation with you, somebody signed up into my team out of nowhere.
No, you flipped your imagination. You flipped your imagination. The attraction kicked in. Someone seen your site and signed up, and it's a sign that's going, Kai. Once you cut off that negative imagination shit, look what I got for you. How long
Oh,
can
it
you?
was cut off instantly.
Yeah, stay in that. Stay
Well,
in. Yeah.
2 down, 8 to go. That's going on right now.
Did you have a question, or were you just?
Well, that was the first part, but a main question is like, and this kind of regards to upgrading your income. Regardless, so say for example, you have a game plan like say generational income, and you want to save up a certain X amount of money for say your stepdaughter or stepsons or children and whatnot. How do you go about that on rationalizing?
Change the savings to a monthly cash flow. So what you're going to create is not saving up some money so one day she can do this. You're going to create a cash flow that will eventually go into a trust fund.
Okay.
And you get to pick out the ages that she gets to tap into it.
Okay.
But she won't have to tap into it because her bonus father is going to be around for a long time.
Plan to.
Where'd I pull that out of?
I don't know. You seem to. I mean, ever since we started talking, what 2-3 years ago, it almost like I felt like I mean to me, I felt oh ouch. Excuse me, my boobs are sore. But I almost felt like you like somehow knew me out of nowhere, like you read everything about my profile. Don't know how that worked out, but
So you have this little soul that was put into your life.
out of nowhere, yes.
Yeah. And isn't it amazing that you have no problems imagining for her?
Absolutely not. My goal right now is to actually come up with $11,000 as her college fund starting this year through the MDC earnings. And when she gets to 18, that would accumulate through whether interest rates or whatever. And that'll make her half a millionaire.
Focus on building a number of subscribers in MDC or YouTube, whatever you're doing. But focus on finding people that need to supplement their income. And those people, once you help them get income, then what they're going to do is they're going to be lifers. And those lifers will always bring in a positive cash flow for you and your dreams.
Well, like I said, 2 down, 8 to go.
Okay. One quick question. What's her name?
Molly.
Molly's in my thoughts and my imagination, and you're going to be an incredible bonus father. That's for damn sure.
She would definitely appreciate the thoughts and prayers because her and her mother are going through some serious, excuse my language, crazy bullshit right now that is unnecessary.
So, and none of that stuff matters. Now that you're focused on them, how much do you think about the awful situation that you're in?
Good question. I haven't thought about it for the past week. Even though I dodged it, we're not going to go into full details. You know what's happening. I mean, even though I dodged it, we made some progress. We're still working on it. You know, like you said, this too shall pass.
I'm telling you, don't say to whatever you believe. Don't say to whatever you believe that give me a reason Why to stay focused, undistracted, to build a group of people that can leverage my income to do the things that I imagined. Don't do that. And then they go, well, Kai, we know you. You're not going to fucking do this for you. So let's put this mom and daughter in your life. That you all of a sudden, what's Kai doing? I don't know what he's doing, but he's putting his armor on again. He hasn't put his armor on in a long time. Holy crap. Look at that shield. Look at that sword. Holy, Kai's going to go out and slay a bunch of dragons for these two. That's called purpose. That's called passion. Purpose and passion comes from helping other people get what they need in life. Other people will call you an angel. Thank you for being an angel in our life. So step into that. Step into that and just go, hey, whoever's out there, you know why I'm doing this. These two need to be taken care of. I'm willing to bear this cross, man. I'm strapping this on and wash the fuck out. And that's when you'll get that attitude like I do. There's absolutely no one that called me up and go, hey, I need you to take a look at this. Hey, you need to look at this. Well, what's your product, people?
I need to use that.
What's your business, people? I'm in the people business. Yeah, but what's the product? Imagination.
Ooh, I like that.
Robert, what do you mean imagination? Well, when you help other people create imagination for their life, you become an imaginator. And that's like a superhero. Don't tell me that you wanted me to sell some product with some kind of stupid comp plan. Is that what you do? No wonder you're struggling. No wonder you sound desperate in the message. Why would someone with me, this kind of imagination, why would someone like me want to sell products to people to make money? Why not just get a fucking job? I'm here to build people. So I'm going to get them to imagine a life they've always dreamed of, and then I'm going to show them how to find other people that are just like us to make that happen. Love you, Kai.
Thank you so much, Robert, and thank you for everything. Today was just imagination plus law of attraction wrapped up into one giant big ball of fur. Literally, fur.
Hey, Kai, I do have one thing to share with you. I gotta find this really quick. I will as we're talking. Have any of you guys ever watched Jerry Maguire? I brought this up before. But Jerry Maguire has a scene in it. And in the scene, he's talking to this football player. And when he's talking to this football player, he goes, what do you want me to do? You know what? He goes, I want the Quan. I want the Quan. And Jerry Maguire's looking at him. He walks around. He goes into the other part of the locker room. And I'm putting it up there, Craig. And I was sharing this with this guy, how we think. And so all of a sudden he says, tell me what Quan is. Quan is love. Quan is respect. Quan is man, it's everything. It's the money, it's everything. The Quan. So then it leaves, and then you see another part where he's just coming off the football field and he's going, you know why I can't get you the Quan? Because you're a paycheck player. You have no passion. You have no heart. You have heart for life, but you're a play check player. You don't inspire anybody. He said, if you played with your heart and you were inspiring and you constantly inspired people, I could get you the frickin' Quan money. And of course, if you watch the whole thing, then at the very end, you know what I mean? He's crying because he's talking on ESPN. The guy goes, hey, your contract just came in for $11.2 million. And he's like, and then he looks at Jerry Maguire, which is, Tom Cruise. And he goes, dude, you're the ambassador of Quan. Because even though they were friends, he was able to look at him in the face and go, you tell everybody you're playing all out and you're mad because other people are making money and they get the deals and they get the fame and they get the stardom. They get all the stuff that you don't. It's because you're constantly, being pissed off at everybody. He goes, because you're not playing with your own imagination. You're not playing with your own Quan. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if you asked people what their word was or where they are? And so I thought of this just the other day, and then I watched the Daytona 500 on Monday. And The Rock is there, Dwayne Johnson, right? And I didn't know that he was doing this. I don't pay attention to stuff. And I guess he put a bunch of football groups together, and he's owner of the UFL. So this is a new summertime league that's going to play, and it starts in March. Well, he's going to be the grand marshal to tell everybody, everyone start your engine, right? And he takes his jacket off because it had all the UFL stuff on it. And the guy looked at him and he goes, where do you get this passion to constantly just keep doing more than you've ever done? And he goes, my word is mana. And they go, what is that? He goes, that's my word. So if you could create the perfect day and the perfect feeling, Kai, of your perfect life and what you're creating and imagining, what would be a word that you could make up that's your word? Think about it. Let it come to you.
Kill.
Because that's like your brave heart. Yell. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to make anything to anybody. It's like, Kai, I don't understand you, man. Can't you see what's happening? And you're like, Quan, what are you talking about? I got this, man. This is I don't understand. You never would. You're not going to understand me getting into the tractor beam, getting rid of resistance, allowing this all to come to me. Robert Hollis is my friend and business partner, and he's teaching me how to connect into this thing that people don't know. I said this before to you guys. Do you guys know when I figured this out? Now I know why people are worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Because they won't unplug. You can say every negative thing you want to about Kanye or Taylor Swift or whoever you want, but they know how to do one thing that you don't know how to do. So they plug in, she writes a song, she crafts it, puts a melody to it, and everyone's going, I'm so sick and tired of her. And she's like, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. Just, oh, did they tell you that you're a billionaire now? Really? That's awesome. Maybe if I had the #1 movie, maybe if I won more awards than everyone, wouldn't that? That's not what she ever thought. She plugged in, she liked the way she felt, and she liked staying plugged in. So it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so when you really hear Elon Musk talk, even though you might not like him and think he's an asshole, But you didn't think he was an asshole when he was sleeping on his brother's couch because he took all the money that he got paid from PayPal and invested it in a rocket company and an electric car company. Everybody goes, if I got that much money, I'd be gone. I'd be traveling forever. I'd buy every car. I would buy these mansions. And he's like, hey, we thought of this idea. I can't believe we got this much money for it. Now I'm going to use that money, throw it into 2 other imagination ideas, see what happens. No one wants to talk about him when he was at that stage, that right before SpaceX went out of business, that NASA signed a contract with him for billions of dollars because they needed to get supplies to their space station. There's no way Tesla's going to make it. Whoops, too late.
Really?
And now there's this whole group of people that are still trying to beat him up. It's like, do you think he cares? Like, I don't care. Guys say a bunch of shit on me on social media. Okay, I'll just buy it. I'll call it X, SpaceX, Model X. It's like, I'll name my kid X. It's like, this guy's a psycho. Yeah, he's winning at the game of life and it pisses you off. So how big of an imaginator is he? Now the biggest thing they beat Elon Musk of is, listen, you said you said it was going to be done by this time. Ty, do you ever do that? Listen, you got to get to 10 grand a month tomorrow. Robert, I'm going to have it done in 3 months. Ty, you told me that 3 months ago. Oh, that was a different 3 months. This is a different 3 months. Okay, I believe you. So the biggest thing he gets beat up for is he always believes in his imagination that he can make shit happen faster than it's supposed to. But then, breaking news. Elon Musk just put a chip in someone's head, and now they can move their arms and legs. What? He was talking about this stupid shit years ago. It's like, yeah, everybody just sits around and goes, well, now I don't know how I feel about that. I would never get a chip. Yeah, you said that about your remote control and your TV, and you also said that about your smartphone. You also said you'd never get on the internet. Why don't you just shut up? I'm never doing it. I'm never doing it. Well, maybe something happens and you don't like it, and you got hurt, and now you have the loss of your limbs and you can't talk. But if you got this small operation, that your eyes would be a keyboard. So as fast as you're looking at the letters is how fast it's typing things out. So you can communicate and connect with people. Yeah, I'm not getting that. No, you'd get it and just not tell anybody.
Inspiration versus desperation.
Yeah, you wouldn't want them beaten up. Wait a minute, you said you were never going to do this. Hey, I'm okay. Okay. I love you guys.
It's kind of funny that you brought up the term Quan. I've never watched Jerry Maguire before, but what you actually talked about was actually Quan is in Kooky Chinese spiritual superstition is the general who fights for honor and does not waver on the negativity. As a matter of fact, he's characterized as stomping on 2 demons holding a spear blade.
You Kai, I'm telling you, you got the spirit of you're an imagination warrior. You just have to make sure that you focus on helping people get what they need as fast as they can and stop thinking about yourself. Get out of desperation mode, step into inspiration mode.
Duly noted.
Love you, man. I believe in
Thank you,
you.
Robert.
You bet. You bet. Whoop,
Hi.
whoop.
Thank you so much. Wow. These are really good breakthroughs. They really are. Everybody, give yourselves a big hand. I mean, if you have not, even if you weren't Lisa Marie or Kai, I'm sure you got a lot from what was shared today. And that's the whole point of the breakthrough session.
So is Lisa Marie going to ask Matt her last question?
Lisa Marie, you want to go for it?
Yep, I'm here.
Matt, let's do this. Let me get Matt back. Let me get Matt on here. And
I'll wave so
there
you
we
can
go.
see me.
There we go.
Hey,
All right.
hey.
Go for it.
I
You
think
need to
Lisa
unmute
Marie's
Lisa
still
Marie.
muted.
I didn't think that she was
Okay.
wanting you to learn sign language. That
I wasn't muting.
That's
Okay,
funny.
thank you so much, Matthew. And hopefully I won't take up. Now, I saw Bob wanted to know, also want to know if there's any updates.
Yeah.
You go with that. I just had a couple of minor questions on um actually putting through the videos and that process as far as the end screens and the details. And
Mhm.
I don't know if like links are allowed or if we should, because I can do many product videos, I can do that and be in compliance. I
Yeah.
know that's an issue, and I don't know if it makes a difference because you are monetizing it. Well, it certainly does with CBD
Right.
for sure. And I'm just worried about running into problems. I know I shouldn't worry, but I do.
I
I
understand.
just
I
don't
get
want
it.
I just don't want to be red flagged there like I had been with Facebook because they never shut that off. 6 years I've been red flagged.
I want to say something very quick and I'm done. If there was anything that made me think that I could jeopardize my YouTube by posting or saying something, it is not going to happen.
Right. Okay.
I am
Yep.
not even going to get close to it because
Okay.
I've had a YouTube channel taken away from me and I've had my advertising on Facebook shut down.
Yeah.
So I know where the limit is, and I consistently keep doing stupid stuff
It
and stuff.
starts and ends, by the way, at network marketing and income claims. In a lot of ways.
Mhm.
And that's why a lot of network marketing companies are really iffy about you posting income claims because it's against the terms of service on every social media network. Like it's in the terms of service in Facebook not to post about it. It's in the terms of service in YouTube, TikTok, all of them, not to talk about network marketing or multi-level marketing. It's just a matter of whether or not they find you doing that and whether or not they want to persecute you for doing that. And that is going to be based off of the impact you're making. If the impact is massive, then they're going to be more, they're going to come after you more than they would if you were just a small guy, right? A small channel. But
That's what I thought. But Facebook, I was nothing on Facebook, but boy, they
Facebook is a
put
little different
hammer down.
because Facebook makes money off of you paying for advertising, right?
Mhm.
So their goal isn't necessarily as much watch time as it is to make a place that you want to continue to stay on. As where YouTube, just like Google, which owns YouTube, they're looking for the amount of videos you watch, the amount of watch time that you watch, and this all comes down to like a couple of things, right? Like I want to share something with you guys since Lisa Marie is asking that I think everyone will benefit from. How many of you watch YouTube on a daily basis? What do you normally watch on YouTube, Lisa Marie?
Robert.
Okay. What do you
Yeah,
watch out?
or I'm looking at tutorials, for
Mhm.
like the programs that we're
Things?
using.
Sure.
Mhm.
Do you watch product videos on YouTube?
No,
Exactly.
I don't. Good point, Matt. Good point.
So
Wow.
one of the hardest things that people have a problem with when they're starting social media is, and this is in multiple different industries, it's not just social media, but you think of like what result you want to get at the end and you shoot for that result. But the reality is that majority of the time you're wrong. Like majority of the time you find it as you're going or you figure it out as you're going. And a lot of the times the information is right in front of your eyes, right? So it's like that question of asking yourself. It's like, okay, what do I normally watch on YouTube? What type of content do I normally consume on YouTube? Okay. If that's the type of content I consume on YouTube, now I at least have a vision for what that may be, right? Like I could see a couple of people that are successful at it. I can kind of mirror them. I can kind of see what was working for them and gravitate onto it and then kind of make my own message around that type of content. But at the end of the day, you trying to make content on YouTube about stuff that you don't actually watch, you're never going to be successful at.
God, that's strong, man.
And a
Wow,
lot of
that
people get caught in that. A lot of people get caught in that because they want to join an industry, but they don't consume anything from that industry. So because they don't consume anything from that industry, they're normally listening to someone else or following someone else that makes content, but their heart's not in it in the same way. So if you watched a bunch of people pitch products on YouTube, you'd realize that no one makes product videos on YouTube. They always slip it in as a sponsorship in a video that has something that people do want to watch or that they watch themselves, right? So it's like if you watch a bunch of tutorials, maybe then it's like, okay, I'm going to make a tutorial for people like me and putting it in the language like me on how to use this thing, right? Because I've watched a video, but I didn't really get it, or maybe it was too complex for me, but I got it eventually, but I could fix this. There's a in between middle ground here for people that are like me to connect with it, right? And I think that's the thing, like it's not like the information that I'm saying to you guys is not information that you can find on YouTube right now. I just take things because I don't mind it being complex, and I take that complexity and I make it easier and easier and easier to understand. That's all I'm trying to do, is trying to translate it, right? So, I'm sitting here going, "Ooh, we can make content about this. Ooh, we can make content about that." And then lately I'm stopping myself and going, "I don't consume any of that content. Who am I to say and if I want to be in that realm, I need to consume that stuff more." If you ask somebody that's a professional writer how to become a professional writer, they'll give you two things. They'll say you need to write a lot and you need to read a lot. If you wanted to become a successful basketball player or boxer, what would they say you need to do? You need to dribble the ball a lot in practice, and you need to watch professionals that do it all the time. And that's going to be the same regardless of what you want to do in social media at all. So the first step that I would take with you, Lisa Marie, and looking at your channel or looking at what you would want to do in the future, and this is for everybody here, I would say sit down and write down the 3 YouTube channels that you consume the most or the content that you want to make the most. Those 3 YouTube channels, right? And if it isn't YouTube or if it's TikTok, 3 TikTok channels. So write that down. You don't have to answer this right now because next week we'll have another inner circle and we can talk about it then. But write those 3 YouTube channels down in between now and then and do your best to research the top 3 videos that they've made in the last 6 months. So go popular videos and look through and see the most popular videos they made in the last 3 to 6 months. 3 months would probably be even better, but some channels aren't that active. So I'm giving it 6 months. But what you're going to realize when you consume not only those 3 channels, but then now you have 9 videos, is you're going to realize very quickly what they're doing that you're not doing. Very
good
quickly.
point.
So you're going to consume
Wow.
those videos. If you need help with it, GPT exists. Get the YouTube thing that I've shown, the GPT for YouTube, put the link in there for those 3 videos or those 9 videos or those 3 channels that you like. And you've seen me do this. I've shared on the Inner Circle last week how I did this and go, what are the 3 common things between these 3 YouTube channels? What are they doing consistently that's similar? And just do the research for yourself so that you can have a breath and go, I have a roadmap here. I know exactly what I need to do now. How often are they posting content? What's that content about? How long are the videos? right? And then when you sit down to make something, you now can take 2 of those, right? So now you have 9 videos. Take 2 of those videos and smush them together. What comes out of that, right? And then you have your version of it. So this is like the mix and match thing, right? It's like I've seen 2 videos for these 3 creators that work really well. They each have 300,000 views. What would be an idea of these 2 videos that is in my wheelhouse that I could communicate about? That would be specific to me. Maybe you have a hard time asking yourself that question. GPT. I'm always going to recommend that. But go into GPT and go, hey, I have this similar type of style. This is how I want to make videos. Here's some channels that I'm interested in making content that's similar. What would be your recommendations? And GPT will give you some. Doesn't mean you need to go with them 100%. And I wouldn't recommend that, right? But I would recommend doing research. And so like a lot of people start by having the excitement of what they want to be doing. Or they'll see even worse, they'll see someone that's getting results on YouTube and go, I want those results, not realizing that those results happened because they weren't thinking about it in that way, because they're actually sitting down and passionate about it, right? Like I hear a lot of people go, and you'll hear a lot of young people go, I want to stream video games, or I want to make content about video games because they consume that the most, right? But they've never sat down and asked themselves what the creators that they're following are doing, how often they're doing it, what types of content they're making, because you'll have eventuality when you go through all that, and you'll have to ask yourself, do I want to do it this much? Do I want to do it at this level? Do I want to do it less than that? And these are questions you really should ask yourself before you're taking it seriously. Doesn't mean you shouldn't get started, because like you've heard, like we've said, you just throw away the first 100 videos. Like just act like when you're sitting in front of the camera, every single time you do a new video, just try to get better at something, right? Whether it's the lighting in your video, or whether it's saying less ums or uhs in the takes, or editing it better, or working better at the thumbnail or the title of it, packaging, right? And just try to get better at it. Every single time you try to make a video, get better at it, get better at it. Don't look at stats for the first 100 videos. Like, just really don't, because you're just going to hurt yourself, because you're going to look at it and go, this worked, but this didn't. And that's a good thing to look at and go, this worked, but this didn't. Only if you're capable of looking at it in an analytical way, in a business mindset, and you can't put your emotions in it. This is why it's great to have people that work for you or work around you, right? Because if I look at the stats from my dad's videos, I can say we need to do more of this, but I'm not putting an emotional attachment to the stats going, but I really liked to do that though, you know, which makes it difficult. It makes it complex. And that's not to say you shouldn't do the things that you want to be doing, but there's one thing above all else, and that is entertainment, the aspect of the entertainment part of it. If you showed up every single day and you were yourself, yes, you'll build a following. Do you want to be successful at it? You need to bring the most entertaining part of yourself, and you need to find where that is. Because the best of the best, the people that are professionals at entertainment, whether it's film, whether it's YouTube, any of these things, they've figured out their niche that they can be the most entertaining and excited, and they stay there. Because if you're not excited about something, you're never going to become a success and get people to follow you in it, right? So if you focus specifically on every single step that you're making to make Buddy's Place a success, right? And that path, and you maybe put some personal development stuff in there that you've learned from your perspective, right? Go, listen, I learned this thing this week from my mentor, and it really made me think about these things with Buddy's Place. And it made me think about these things, right? More of like a vlog of how Buddy's Place is growing, right? Then you will get people to show up, and just think to yourself, when you make content, is this entertaining? Would I watch this? Because a lot of people don't ask themselves that question. They just make stuff, which is fine. But if you want to be a success at anything with this, you got to bring the entertainment factor. Because if someone comes across your YouTube channel and they're not excited or entertained, then they're not going to keep watching. And that's going to tell YouTube to not give your content to other people, because they're going to go, people only watch this for 10 seconds and they move on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's,
There is one thing that I'm somewhat concerned about, because there are so many different things that I enjoy doing, and I do put them
so
out
here's
there.
here's a situation, and maybe Freddie would like this. But just start a new YouTube channel.
Well,
Upload that
see,
content on there. If it's
yeah.
totally different, right? If it's not a vlog, if it doesn't fit in the Lisa Marie wheelhouse, but fits in the personal development wheelhouse, right? Or somewhere else, there's no problem with making a new YouTube channel and uploading content consistently. That might become your new YouTube channel. You never know. But you'll see a lot of
Right.
creators do this, or you'll see a lot of artists do this. I'm gonna do at some point I'll do like a whole video about this, or we'll talk about it. But I've really looked a lot into the style of persona, right? There's a lot of people out there, whether it's Prince, whether it's David Bowie, or any of these people that create a whole new persona for themselves. And they'll
Mhm.
do that. So then they feel comfortable creating content in that, right? And so it's like, okay, I'm now Ziggy Stardust, right? And what comes with Ziggy Stardust? Completely different shit than you had before, right? So don't
You're
expect to
right.
come to a David Bowie concert where he's Ziggy Stardust and expect to get something else, right?
So the point of having to get another 1,000 subscribers, another four
Don't worry
thousand
about that.
hours watched,
But see,
it'll
that's
happen
the
if it
thing. The
happens.
point is not you're never going to make a full-time income off of it unless if you're excited about it,
Right.
or
Right.
you're not
Right.
going to get those donations. So the way to
Mhm.
do that is to maneuver yourself into a place where you're excited about making content and you're excited about what you're doing enough to not think about the numbers part of it.
Right.
That you're
Right.
picking up the camera or you're sitting down and going, I can't wait to make more stuff. Guess what? Guess who on this call does that? My dad.
Hmm.
So he sits down in front of everybody and goes, I'm excited to get this message out there. He's not thinking about the views. He's not thinking about the watch time. He's not thinking about the ad revenue. He's not thinking about any of those things. That's
You
for
are
other
so
people to think
right.
about.
Yeah.
And by the way, do you guys have a clue what I watch for content?
Whatever inspires you.
The same
Yeah.
stuff I want to talk to people about.
Exactly. Right. And that's the thing is then when you're sitting down, you're like, I can't wait to share this with my community. And if that's
Yeah.
Buddy's place, a new development, maybe you just put this new fence up for this new spot and you're recording and documenting each individual part of that. Maybe you're
Yeah.
uploading those bits and pieces as shorts, but you eventually put all the shorts together into a 10-minute video of the progress you made that month or that week or last 2 weeks, and consistently get that message out there. Because the main thing that my dad shared, and this is very true, if people don't want to share your shit, you're never going to get anywhere. Like
Right.
if they don't watch what you're making and go, I need to show this to somebody else, how are you ever going to get any traction? Right? Because the
Right.
algorithm only is going to share it with people if people are doing that. Right? And
Hmm.
it can tell, you know this from the algorithm or the analytics. If you go in there, you can tell where it's going. Hey, this video got views from Facebook. This video got views from Instagram, or this is where people are linking from, right? LinkedIn, whatever it is. And so the reason I shared all that with you guys is because I know we had plans to go through your channel, Lisa Marie, but I really feel like if everybody here could do a huge favor to themselves if they just dialed in on what they want to be doing. And this doesn't exactly have to be YouTube, right? Take the top 3 people that you want to be like, figure out the 9 things that they're doing the most, write it down on a piece of paper and go, is this for me? Do I want to do this? Could I do 10% of this? Do I want to do 10% of this? It's a lot of work. Being a success at anything is a lot of work. It's not
Hmm.
instantaneous. It's not easy. So if I told you tomorrow that you'd have to do this for the next 5 years of your life and it would cost thousands of videos of time, you'd have to figure out if Buddy's Place was worth that or not.
Right.
Right. And if it is, then who gives a fuck how many videos or views you have to get there. Right.
Right.
So even
Right.
in my
Right.
own space with AI, it's like every single iteration of what I'm doing is a step in that direction. And it's an iterative process. It's not an instantaneous process. I'm okay with that. Right. But I only have a
Right.
choice in AI because there's not like it already exists. And I'm like, the learning curve isn't there. It's that it doesn't exist. Like it's coming out as I'm doing it. But that's for everybody, right? So
Right. Let me
If
ask
I
you.
if
Go
I can
ahead.
bring up something really quick, if we're doing this exercise, Lisa Marie, instead of with you with Terry, all right? Everyone in the world knows my wife loves animals. Is there any guess what she consumes as far as content?
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's all she does. So
Hmm.
everybody wonders why she stays in such a happy place. She watches for hours this couple that has 3 spider monkeys that they adopted.
Oh, fun.
And I asked her for the link, but on top of that, they have a Labrador that just gave a bunch of puppies. And every once in a while, I go, "Are you still watching that?" And she says, "This is the way my wife talks about everything. She's funny. Freddie would have a difficulty time with her for sure. Freddie wouldn't get anywhere close to Terry. It's like, because I would go, "You still watching that?" And she says, "Along with 718,000 other people."
Wow.
Idiot. You know what I mean? I'm not the only one that's watching this guy hold a spider monkey. And so, I enjoy it. I like it. And she's exactly the same way with things that do not interest her.
Hmm.
Hey, did you hear what they said on the news about Donald Trump? I don't care.
All right.
Well, what do you think about that? I don't.
Hmm.
I don't. You see what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
she's individually focused on taking care of the things that she loves. She's constantly pouring herself into that.
And
So
putting yourself in that place.
yeah,
Put
so
yourself there,
if she was
right?
going to do a YouTube channel, we would have to build a place where could adopt animals. Her problem, she says that she can't do it because she wouldn't give any of them away. So
Right.
this place has
Yeah.
got to consistently keep growing, right? And then she's got to hire people. We would have to hire people to videotape her because she's too involved in the animals to ever videotape herself
Hmm.
playing with the animals.
Yeah. Yeah.
She'd feed them, she'd clean up the shed, she would do everything that it would took to take care of these animals, but she wouldn't videotape herself doing it because that's not important.
Right. Right. Right.
And the people will show up too to do that for you.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's always the case because when you're in these situations where you're doing good things, great things, there's going to be someone that has the expertise that you need and they'll show up and go, "How can I help?" And
Exactly.
that's going to become
Yeah.
even more so the case, but yeah, when you're thinking about it, like I'll say this, right? Everybody here, and this is could be mean, but whatever, it's just the truth, right? If between now and the next inner circle, right? If you haven't written down the 3 YouTube channel, if you want to do YouTube or you want to do social media, if you haven't written down the 3 channels and the 9 videos for yourself, then you're not serious enough to do it and you shouldn't.
Right.
Because that's the truth. That's the hard part of the whole entire thing is that, and that's a lot of things, right? If I couldn't sit down and write down the 9 favorite films from the 3 favorite filmmakers that I like, then I'm not interested enough to be doing it,
Right.
I
right?
agree.
And that's a
Hmm.
lot of things, but people don't ask themselves because there's so many, like things will pull you in a different direction, Lisa Marie and the other people here. If you can't do that 3 by 9 stuff that I just said, it's not important enough to you. It's not. That industry or that thing is not important enough to you to be doing it. Because if you want to be a writer, you should be able to name 3 novelists and 9 books, right?
Even though
So,
Matt just said this, listen,
Right.
if this is not the right timing for you because you really never thought about creating that kind of focus and you're just okay being you, that's okay too.
oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah, no, you do what you want.
it's like there's
Hmm.
a lot of people on here. It's like if you don't have an imagination that consumes you on emotional level, you will not act. You will not execute. And if you don't execute, you're never going to have the evidence to prove what you dreamt you said you could do.
No, and you'll hear us talk about this on the podcast that comes out tomorrow because there was one of the things that I shared where it's like I've kept myself, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate with this, but I've kept myself in limbo by doing exactly what you shared at the beginning that Freddie did. I've done
Hmm.
that where it's like I would love to direct movies, but could you imagine? I'll never be around my family. I'll never be around my. Is it really worth it to be on the
Right.
road or be gone for so long and have so much dedication to it? Do I really love it that much? And the answer up until AI existed, and there's a chance that I could do this from my home, was no. I'd rather
Mm-hmm.
do shit where I can be around my family. That's more of a priority in my life. That's something that I'm more interested in doing. And so it was, but now things have moved into that place. And I could have made excuses then too, and I did. I went, well, AI is not exactly at the spot it's supposed to be at, or, it'll get there eventually, and then I'll take action. And, um, maybe I haven't written enough, or I don't have enough skills yet. Maybe I need to be better at what I'm doing before I take advantage of any of these tools or take the opportunity to start. And I'm sure all of us have been there where we've like put ourselves in a place where we put 10 roadblocks between us
Mm-hmm.
starting, right? And I can tell you guys right now, the things that my dad has said, I I've been his son for 32 years, and it hasn't been since the last 6 months that I've really reflected on certain things and seen them to be true. Like when you do things for other people, it's easier.
It is. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now I'm working with other people in AI filmmaking and stuff, and it's easier because there's things that I know that they don't know, and there's things that they know that I don't know. We're helping each other, right?
And I was going to ask you both, all three of you guys, or the whole inner circle, you know, I don't want to start a group of any sort. It's all noise. You know what I mean? But there's several of us in this group, and I don't need to name anybody, but there are several of us that really struggle in this area. And I was going to start a chat group. And every time we learn to do something like my video on CapCut, I'm going to take a little video of me doing it and share that with that group. And I think that would be very, very helpful for so many of us.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to run that by you guys. And I
You
don't
don't
want
need
to start a
Here's the
separate
thing.
group
You
or
don't need our permission to do what you feel like doing. But at the same time, if you start the group and it starts to take you away from what you personally want to be doing, I'll say this because I've been there, Lisa Marie, where I've and my dad can attest to this. I've had groups where there's like 80 people in there plus,
Mhm.
and they're asking me questions about shit all day long.
Yeah,
All day long.
yeah.
They've
Okay.
learned to leverage me to the point that they're not even Googling it to figure it out themselves. And
Okay.
I am such a helpful person that I could even be out and I'm still texting going, hey, here's how this works. Here's how this works. I've learned to take myself and eliminate myself from those groups because I know it makes me unproductive in what I would like to be doing.
Mhm.
And that's something that took me a lot of wisdom to learn because even when there are certain situations where you guys are even working together to make t-shirts like Jerome and Malik are doing, right? I love that. I'm already in the position where I'm having to take steps back because I would design the t-shirts. I'd make the graphics on them. I'd work with Malik and Jerome, but I don't want to be making t-shirts for a living.
Right.
I don't want to be making
Gotcha.
graphics for a living. I want to be making films for a living. So I have to take a couple
I'm
steps
glad I
back and
asked
go,
that. Okay. That
they're
makes sense.
passionate about it, or they see something that they're passionate about, a saying that my dad says. There's a reason we don't have our own branch of apparel,
Right.
right? Because
Hmm.
neither one of us is interested in it. But as we grow this community, if Jerome and Malik go, hey, listen, this is getting to the point where we need to like hire people for the amount of shirts we're printing or whatever. Guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna hire Jerome and Malik, and they're gonna cut us in on their business. And we're gonna work together. That's how
Hmm.
business works. I'm
Right.
not gonna go start a t-shirt company. I'm not passionate about it enough. So
Gotcha. Okay.
that's the
All
truth.
right.
And that's why I said even the writing down of the three things. I couldn't write down three graphic designers for t-shirts or styles that I like from Nike or other places. I'm just not interested enough. So I'll let
Wow.
someone else who's passionate about it do it.
Every Robert and both you guys, everything we talked about, I needed to hear today. I honestly did. So thank you both very
Well, thank you
much.
guys. I just realized it's actually getting late. We've been on here for a bit, so I don't want to
Yep.
keep anybody anymore. I know that Coach Bob was on here. I don't know if he still is. Um,
Yes,
but
he is.
he was asking about some AI updates. I'll just run through some AI updates really quick, if that's all right with everybody, and then we'll call it a day.
Sure.
Okay, cool. If you guys don't have just share my screen here. So Google Gemini 1.5 is out. You can find it by going to gemini.google.com. This is the competitor to ChatGPT. Now it excels in some areas that GPT doesn't, and in other areas it sucks. I think in picture generation it sucks in comparison to GPT and Dolly. I wouldn't use it for that. But people have realized that by uploading photos and stuff, or code, if you're into code or certain aspects, that it does excel at certain aspects better than GPT. So it's something to look at. But this is Google's competitor. It's brand new. So I'll just copy the link and share it here. But this is Google Gemini.
I
So
got
you
it,
can
man.
go in. Oh, perfect. You guys can go check it out, play around with it, see how it works. The updates are coming out like consistently all the time for this. I heard today, which is it's crazy because I would have never thought that this would be the case. But Google announced that Gemma is coming out, which is Gemini open source, which means you can use it on your computer, which is like, I thought they'd always be closed on stuff like that. So very cool if you want to run it on your computer like this. So this is what I've been doing. I'm rendering pictures individually of the short film that I'm doing out, and those are being animated by my computer in here. And I'm just queuing those up and changing it. And this is what I've been doing like every day, right? This looks confusing. It's because it is. It took me like weeks to learn how to do this, to run all these little wires and do all this shit. But give it 3 months and none of you guys will have to learn how to do this. So this is just where I am with it right now. The other thing that I would say that's an update is GPT now can go up to like, I believe 1 million characters or 1 million tokens, which means you basically could feed it every single Harry Potter book that has been written and ask it questions about all of them with this little attachment here. So as far as updates go, none of you guys are really into like open source stuff. If you are, you can reach out to me and I'll talk to you. Maybe Coach Bob is, because I know at one point he was asking me about Python. This is all running on Python. But if you're not into programming or coding or anything like that, this is probably just going to be like a pain in the ass. And like I said earlier, probably an avoidance activity, right? Just give it a few weeks. All those open source models will then be in all the closed source models. And then everything will be good. But as far as things go with AI, we're kind of at this point right now where new shit is going to be coming out like every week, right? Like this week, I woke up this morning. I've been running all of this stuff that I just showed you through this thing called Stable Diffusion, which is like the open source version of like something like Midjourney or ChatGPT. And open source basically just means people make the code and then they give the code out to everybody and people make the code better. And then that comes back to the people that originally made it, which is Stability AI. And then they refine it and they make it better based off of what everyone's made. And then they come out with a new version. And then we all take it and we make it better and then we give it back to them. And that's just the ecosystem. So instead of it being like a company like Microsoft with GPT or Google with Gemini, these are all closed ecosystems. So no one's working on that but them. And then they release it to you and they go, you can use it if you pay us. But open sources, you don't have to pay for it, but you can be kind of wonky, right? But the benefits of it are there's no hurdles here, or there's no like barriers. So if I wanted to generate, someone being, this is going to sound weird, but someone being stabbed, right? For a film, I can't do that with any of the closed source models. There's no way GPT is going to make me a picture of someone being stabbed, but I need to have it animated because I have a character in the story that I'm working on that gets stabbed. So I can't make a film with GPT because it's closed source. Does that make sense? Yep. So I can't make a shot of someone being stabbed to animate. But if it's open source and it's running on my computer, I can do that as much as I want. I can even train it on movies where people do get stabbed and then get a more realistic shot of that happening. Right. And so that's what I'm doing in my like world. Yeah. Stable Diffusion 3 came out today. So everything that I just showed you guys, I now have to go back to the drawing board and ask myself if I want this film to be in Stable Diffusion 3 or if I'm okay with it being in 2. Because I've been working with 2 for the last 3 weeks, but 3 just came out today. So now I'm going to get off here and have to go read a bunch of papers and read a bunch of chats and Discord about what people are doing with 3 and what we're going to be doing next with that. So that, like I said, happens on a week by week basis. They actually, to show you guys how crazy this shit is, and then I'll close it out. Their stability.ai, you could go to their website. That's the open source model. Google's announced that they're coming out with an open source model of Gemini, and Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, announced that they're also coming out with an open source model. The reason everyone's doing this is because ChatGPT is destroying everybody. OpenAI is destroying everybody. When they came out with Sora, everyone went, we're like 6 months behind them. And so the only way that you're ever going to catch up at this point is with the efforts of many. And both Google and Meta are going, we cannot beat them. So now we need other people to work with us. So they're going to come out with open source models that I can work with and millions of other people can work with. So what does this mean for everybody here? You're going to see an exponential growth in this technology where it's going to be like, excuse me, it's going to be like every single week there's something new. Because if I can run on the Google model and I can run on the Meta model, that just gives me the ability to test things and all these things, just making the AI smarter and it's not closed. So I'm excited about it. But oh yeah, you shared the spider monkey stuff. But yeah, I want to share one more thought with you guys.
Sure.
And then I have a question also from Hubert Palmer, if you can have a moment
absolutely.
to answer that.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and share, and then I'll ask the question.
So I'm going to preface this by saying that things are going to get really, really fucking weird over the next couple of weeks, couple of months for everybody here. Do you guys, anyone that's on Facebook all the time? So I'm in these groups on Discord, and I can tell you right now that there's people that have built 1 million+ people pages on Facebook and on Instagram with completely all fake shit, and people believe that it's real, right? Like homes, all these different kinds of things, right? Facebook, it's like we joke in my community that it's like Facebook is 90% now artificial. Like a lot of the content you see on there is generated by people like me, right?
Sandy's got some awesome graphics.
Right, whipping up those graphics and stuff. So I preface that by saying that you guys, I shared Sora with you guys, what OpenAI did with video, text to video, and how real it looks, right? When these open source models come out, from the new ones from Stability AI came out today, Meta's will come out in the next couple of weeks, Google's will come out in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see those video models exponentially catch up to Sora, and there's not going to be any barriers on them. So I'm going to tell you guys right now to be very skeptical over the next couple of months about the shit that you see on the internet. Don't let it persuade you in a different, just ask yourself, is this real? Should I really believe this? Is this, because we're about to go through a pathway where a lot of the video content that you see on the internet, especially short form content, is completely fabricated and fake. From the human beings to what you see happening to what's going on. So if you see like riot footage, right? Or you see a bunch of people that are Christian being executed, doesn't automatically mean that that's happening. Okay? So I feel like I need to also be ahead of it, like a lot of the other people that are in this, and tell the community that I'm looking over to just be careful with the shit that's on the internet over the next couple of months and how much you believe it, especially when it comes to political shit, stuff that normally makes you, you know, on edge, stuff that it's going to get really weird. And I said in the podcast, there was a video that was posted on X, or a picture that was posted on X and was posted on Facebook of Kanye West and Donald Trump smoking joints together. The picture was so real that Facebook and X actually had to do shit against it because the majority of people were like sharing it everywhere, thinking it was real and going like, listen, I love them because they're so chill and I'm pro marijuana or whatever you want to say. But this is definitely going to hurt his chances of being president because there's not a lot of people that are, right? And it's like, that's just pictures, you guys. We're about to get to the point where we're at videos. Pictures can already fake it. Videos, we're almost there in a couple of months. And so just relax a little bit with the technology, go with the waves of the ocean, don't drown with it. Because believe it or not, we've had a community before. When the last election happened, we had a community of a couple of people that went full on into the QAnon stuff, and we lost them. They're great people, but we lost them because every time they would come on to these calls, they would come on with all of that conspiracy shit. And we just can't have that part of our community. We can't. This is a place to grow and support each other, not a place for conspiracy theories or to get more militant people for your cause of whatever you think that is. So I'm prefacing this all by saying that now, because as this community grows and as there's more propaganda and misinformation out there, we have to pull you aside and say, you can't be this way. That's the way it's going to be. All right. Because I have to safeguard the other people that are in this community. And so does my dad. And so does Craig. So I love you guys, but that's just the case. So that's all. That's my last statement on it. And that's all my AI updates, really. Next week, I'll have more. But that's really all the newest updates. So.
Okay.
Thanks, Matt.
And Matt, the question from Hubert Palmer is asking in YouTube is,
Sure.
what do you think about Human Talk or Human Pal? Have you heard
Human
of those?
Talk or Human Pal?
Yeah.
I haven't, but I'm going to Google it. Is it like a human video maker app? So this is similar to, there's a couple of, if you go to roberthollis.com/AI, this is a similar technology. It's you know, I don't trust this as much as I trust the other ones that I use. There's this one, if you go to roberthollis.com/AI, and I'm sure Craig will post it in chat. We have a whole entire, we have a whole entire like thing that I keep continuing to try to update here. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, we got it.
Of a document with a bunch of links to the different AI stuff. So that one that you shared is actually very similar to HeyGen, which does pretty much the same thing, but is like the leader in that, right? So as far as making, whether you want to use a fake avatar of somebody else, like an actor, or you want to train one that looks like you, record your voice or use someone else's voice, this all does that. Now, it's not going to be a one-time fee, but it's always going to get better. I promise you that. Because I've actually, at the beginning of AI, I hopped into this tool called Topaz, which is an upscaler. So what it does is it upscales videos and it upscales photos. So it could take a video that's 1080p and make it 4K, right? With AI. I spent $400 to buy this software. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, a website that I already use called Runway came out with upscaling features that were better. And I had spent all that money. It was non-refundable because it's AI. This technology changes. So I would recommend going for a subscription service, even though it seems like a pain in the ass, just because of how AI is, instead of doing like one-time fee, $50, $100 things like that. Because the technology is moving so fast that unless if they want to keep updating it, right? And Topaz does update, but it's not as good. So it's like, I would prefer to be part of a subscription network that's constantly making their tools better, instead of something that you pay one time, you get the tool, and then it's outdated in 3 weeks. So that's just the world we live in with AI. Let's see here. Someone else had a comment.
Yeah, Lisa Marie was asking me to look for the video that you did.
I was looking for that too. I don't know why I couldn't find it, because actually what I was going to do, Lisa Marie, is I was going to split that one and the other one I did where my dad was unable to make it into separate videos and then just upload them for you guys. So I'll find them. All right. I'll cut them out front and back, just my parts. And then the next one that I talked about AI, and we'll upload those just for members, just for the inner circle for you guys. So I'll look into doing that. So don't worry about where they are.
I'm sure they're in there, Lisa Marie, on one of the inner circles or AMAs. So yeah.
If they're there, me and Craig will find them. All right. We'll find them. So,
It
but
just
that's it.
takes a
That's
little
all I
more
have.
than just the
So,
few minutes that we have to hunt them down.
right. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Lisa Marie. Thanks, Coach Bob. Thank you, everybody else that asked questions and stuff. I'll be here next week. So think about those channels. Think about what you'd like to be doing, because I think one thing that would be really cool, and we'll see if I have the time to do this in the future, because I love supporting you guys. But I'd like to do maybe a bi-weekly video or show or something that's just specifically where I'm helping you guys with this stuff, because I really don't want to take up the inner circles with this stuff, because that's really not what they're about, right? When it comes to technical stuff, I think that should be a separate thing where I get on and me and Craig can support you guys and my dad can support you in the ways that he can. But I really think, just like we did for the majority of this call with you, Lisa Marie and Kai, these calls are really here for that. So I don't want to take up questions myself with that. I don't mind questions on the AMAs, but still, I think that these should be about mindset, getting you to where you want to be. And we'll figure out, maybe we'll do it on Friday or something every 2 weeks, and I'll go through your guys' YouTube channels or something. So that's
Awesome.
it. That's all I got. So
Fantastic. Wow. This is a great inner circle. And Matt, Robert, thank you guys so much for helping all of us with regards to this. And got to give shout outs to Lisa Marie, Kai, Hubert, Coach Bob for participating, and of course for you to watch. Want to get the chat information, because I did post things in the Zoom chat. Make sure that you click on those 3 dots in the chat and then click on Save Chat, and then it will download to your computer at the very end of this presentation. If you're watching us on YouTube, it will be all that information will be in the description below the video, or if you're rewatching, it's in the chat. We got the chat takes a little while though to update, because we do let that replay as well in real time. But all of the links and stuff that we shared will be in the description below the YouTube video. And those of you that are part of the inner circle, you get that YouTube video. Enough said there. All right. So with that being said, I think we can put a lid on today's inner circle breakthrough. Amazing. Thank each and every one of you for being here and participating. We appreciate the fact that you spent your time with us, and that's what makes this community so incredible. And it's what helps us grow, by you sharing. Let me just take a quick look here on one thing I want to update. Okay. So until Saturday, noon p.m. Pacific, we will have the AMAs, the Ask Me Anything, and then watch for the podcast debut, episode 4 of Unlimited Wisdom, tomorrow, Friday. It is a real good one.
yeah, honestly, it's the best episode we've shot so far. So
Yeah.
we talked all about Unlimited Wisdom and where we're wanting to go with that. So I know my dad was on fire. So it was crazy.
Yeah. So share that with we'll post stuff up. Share the links with everybody so they can get a taste of it. They can open up and have their ears hear what we have to say, and share and become part of our community. Yes, Robert, get plugged in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, please be good to yourselves, be cash, and bye-bye. I'm going to go ahead and unmute so we can all say so long for now. There
You
we
guys
go.
totally rock.
Thank you, guys.
You're awesome.
Thank you, Robert.
I mean,
And
Peter
Linda are
and Linda,
connected.
thank you. Great one, Peter.
Color cables.
Log in, baby.
Love you guys.
Thank you guys so much.
Craig.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Matthew, Bill, Jerome, Mike, Peter and Linda, Kai,
You
Coach
guys have a
Bob.
great day.
Hi, guys. Hey, James. Hey, Jamie. How you doing? Melody. Who am I missing? Arthur. Rita, Kelly.
Thanks,
I love
Matt.
you guys. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.